Right then, so this next video is on this wonderful little box that I've got that I picked up for less than £100, and I wanted to just use it and fix it and save myself some money. It's a Surface Book. I don't know if it was a good idea or a bad idea. More luck than anything, I had one of these batteries, so that didn't cost me anything. The SSD down here, I don't know if I've broken anything there. The SSID, the NVMe M2. So if you have a Surface Book and you can take the screen off, you can upgrade the SSD. I'm going to just use that for now. In here, quite simply, this housing effectively comes away. Pop the SSD inside it and put it back on again. Mine will be a lot easier if I was to show you, but I've damaged mine slightly. But that's the NVMe. Pop it out. I don't know if it's actually got power to it or not, but effectively pop it out, put it back in again, and put this back on top of it. Seal that back over it, and away you go. You got your SSD ready to boot up straight away, and well, it saves you going out and spending an extra 300-400 quid on a Surface Book disk upgrade just to get a few extra gig when the discs themselves are less than £100 for a 1TB SSD now on the M2 and NVMe ones. I'll put a link in for the one that I've used on a different one. I haven't bought one for this one yet. This one though, its biggest challenge is the power button was broken. So if you look at it from here, you'll notice that it's cracked. And as I really just wanted this to run VMware, I effectively I don't know if you can see it properly, there's a little button here. I basically hacked the old button off, and which is there. Let's see if you can see it. And that silver thing, which bear with me a second until I get some clarity. I don't know if it's going to get it, but that bit there, you basically, I honestly don't know how it works and when it's got the proper connector in it, but if I was to disconnect the camera, that silver thing, that gold that looks like a blob of solder, that had a silver metal protective sheet over it, and the button went down, and again, I don't know how it worked because I couldn't see. Maybe the plastic button had broken off, how it was ever going to work. But if you listen carefully, what you have to do is you have to, once you've taken the silver thing off and it flicks off, you just make a push and then it comes on. And it turns off again. So hopefully, if I do it right, the screen should come on up here. And it was as easy as that. Now I've got a new screen on order. The trick though is, like I said, I can put this thing in hibernate and then just put it in the keyboard and push enter and it'll come back to life again. But I needed something to use if I had to shut it off. So I'm going to put this down. Just give me a second and then try and zoom in on it. So I found something like a little bit of plastic in the house. And I had to cut this down a fair bit. But effectively, it's just a bit of plastic with a little notch on it. Now I nailed it, I filed it down a little bit to try and give it the best clearance. And all I do is with that button side there, so if I was to put that on the white background, with that little button bit there that's sticking up, I put that facing in to the surface. Move this out of the way for a second, and it hovered over the button. See? And then it's a case of off. Push the button again. On. Off. Now, obviously, with it being in hibernate, I don't need to do that. But if you have a Surface Book of your own, and you've got said piece of plastic lying around that looks like that, it's a simple push and click procedure to get it back to life. Now I've got to do some more work. I'm just going to plug the camera back in again. Just the camera back in again, and that effectively gives it just a little bit of that stops it from rising too much. In fact, I think I've gone over it. Yep, that. Just a gentler push as it sits underneath the ribbon for the camera, and you could keep it in there or just have it on the side. Everything else is pretty straightforward on this thing. The antenna bar was, whoever took the screen off on this one before was, I don't know what the right word to use for them is, but it was a mess. And because this bit was a bit high, I actually cut it off here because I actually don't care. I just wanted this antenna bar here to stick the thing down, to stick the screen onto. I'll manufacture something here and here to make that work. But if you do have to take the screen off, just a little bit of advice. There are better people out there that have recorded screen removal instructions. For the Surface Book, I actually found it to be really, I don't know if it was the screen was stronger. I've done plenty of Surface Pros. The screens have gone pop on me and it's more like hit miss. But with this one, the screen seemed really solid. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. Yeah, and it's a safety gap for you. Still take your normal precautions. But what I found was if you eject your screen, I found that the screen came away a bit easier around here when you're ejecting and unejecting it. And if it got really warm, like if you were to do a rebuild of the system, it would get nice and warm, and eventually you could quite easily pry it into this area here. If you can do that area first, this area second, be very careful, because you can see that little cable there is for the screen, as well as that one for the screen. So the last thing you want to do is hack that. Everywhere else is pretty easy now. And this part was the hardest part that I've ever had to take off of any screen. Take your time, don't rush it. I've snapped a few on the Surface Pro around this area here because it seems to be a little bit more stickier. And up the top here, antennas stick in here and here. Whoever's took the screen off before took the antennas off with them. Just be patient, be careful. When you're picking, pick along the screen, not along the body. It's so easy to think you're gonna just keep prying on the base because it's safer, but it's actually safer to go along the screen because you won't scratch the antennas. And use a pick, like a guitar pick, and a hairdryer. I know that might sound stupid for people out there that have got proper heat guns, but if you don't know what you're doing with a heat gun, the chances are you're going to burn it. And as we go around, I mean, there's not really a lot you can burn, but if you were a bit too, what's the right word for it, a little bit too generous on the heat around here, you may end up burning these cables. So again, simple hairdryer, and take your time, guitar pick, make sure it's warm, and you should be fine. Now what I'll do is when I get my 1TB SSD for this, I will put the spec on it and do a different video for how to upgrade that and then how to restore it again. But hopefully the screen will arrive in a couple of days. And well, I'll put a video up there if anyone's interested in how to swap the screen out. I'll show you. Thanks for watching.